In the cage now with Ariel Helwani. Ariel, 40-year-old Urijah Faber, big comeback win last week in his hometown. Okay, UFC Hall of Famer, hadn't seen action since 2016, and after the fight, he talked about a title shot, right? So we've got like 900 days off. Dude worked for 46 seconds, title shot. Seems like a big jump there. What's next for this guy?
You know, I got to say, first off, I'm still sort of like tingly after watching that scene Saturday night, John. It was so great. One of my favorite moments of the year, one of my favorite moments in a long time. And we must remember, Henry Cejudo, the champion at 135, called him out first. So he was just responding to the call out. So it's not total chutzpah on his part, if I'm being honest. But I don't think he's going to get a title shot next. Dana White said to TMZ recently that he wants Cejudo to fight for the 125-pound belt next. He wants him to defend that title against Joseph Benavidez. So I have a feeling Faber is going to be active. He's going to want to make up for lost time, but I don't think a title shot necessarily is next for him. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he fights for the belt in the near future, but next seems like a bit of a stretch.
All right, UFC Fight Night right coming up Saturday, San Antonio, ESPN, 9 o'clock. Greg Hardy, he'll see his third fight in the UFC. You spoke to him recently. What did he tell you about this upcoming challenge?
So this is an interesting one for Greg Hardy because, of course, he has been a very polarizing figure in our sport, but he's sort of flown under the radar going into this fight, which leads me to believe that maybe he's just accepted now, that people just don't really get all riled up about his presence on the roster. That's probably good news for Greg Hardy, but his opponent, Juan Adams, is not only the best opponent he's faced thus far, he's also been poking him. He's been talking about his controversial past. He's been really critical of the things that Greg Hardy has been through and his place in the sport. And so I'm curious if Greg is going to respond emotionally in this fight on Saturday night. He tells me he won't. He tells me he's just another guy. He's been there before. He's heard it all before. But this is the first time that someone has really poked the bear. So I'm curious to see how he's going to respond. We'll see Saturday night.
And then the main event on the card is welterweight fight between Rafael dos Anjos against Leon Edwards. Let's talk about fighters. What's at stake here for each guy?
A very important fight at 170 pounds. And, you know, it's fitting that it's happening in San Antonio because, in my opinion, Leon Edwards is the Tim Duncan of the UFC. The guy gets no respect. He doesn't talk a lot. He's not very flashy. All he does is win. He's won 7 in a row. And quite frankly, even if he wins this fight on Saturday, even if he makes it 8 in a row, he's probably not getting a title shot because there's people like Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington and Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis who are just more popular and gain a lot more attention these days. So all he has to do is keep on winning. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a title shot will be next. Maybe a fight against Jorge Masvidal, who jumped him backstage in London not that long ago. That could be next, but I don't think a title shot will be next for Leon or even Rafael dos Anjos if he wins this fight.
It certainly helps there to have pizzazz. Speaking real quickly, Jorge Masvidal, right? In honor of his last knockout, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to tell me why he can't fight Conor McGregor.
Well, guess what? He can and he should. It's crazy that they're not considering this fight. That's a massive fight, a money fight. They should do it. Don't listen to Dana White.
Wow. You were supposed to say because no, never mind. UFC Fight Night on Saturday night, ESPN prelims start 6 o'clock, main card 9 p.m. Thanks, Ariel. He wants to make the fight.
Hello, everyone. It's Ariel Helwani. I just came here to thank you for watching our ESPN YouTube channel. It's the best. You know what else is the best? The ESPN app. You can get highlights, analysis, all that stuff and more. And if you want premium content and live streaming sports, there's only one place for all of that. It's ESPN Plus.